top 5 is upon us, and at number 5, guy who just signed a 5-year contract that makes him the highest-paid quarterback in league history. The Ravens had an offseason drama that was going to be the gift that kept on giving all the way through training camp. I thought, nope, they got it worked out right before the draft. Lamar Jackson under contract and number 5 in the Chris Sims top 40 quarterback countdown.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, I mean, he's a game changer. We know that, right? I mean, I think the first thing, if I had to say, one broad statement about him that I think needs to be corrected, don't get it twisted. His passing is legit. His arm is elite in all areas, right? Whether it's power, throwing on the run like you see here, getting the ball out of his hand quickly. I would say other than Mahomes and Allen, nobody throws the ball sidearm or from different arm angles more than Lamar Jackson. He can flick it off his back foot. And then, hey, let's not forget, it's Lamar Jackson, and he's still got 3 rockets up his ass, and he's arguably, he's right there on the heels of Justin Fields as far as being the best running quarterback in football as well, right? This is a guy that's a good decision maker. He is. The more you break him down, Mike, Lamar plays in the pocket. He sees the field well, right? I mean, he is an elite difference maker. He's a great leader. The only negative is the injury right now with Lamar Jackson. And what he did last year, he was playing really good football, throwing the ball, led the team in rushing, even though he didn't play, the last few games of the year. I mean, he's a one-man show. And that's why he's number 5. And now it's going to be a different offense with some more weapons around him that we haven't seen in years past. And I think Lamar is going to silence all the social media idiots out there that think, oh, he's just a running back who has a strong arm. No, he's a quarterback who can run really damn good. That's how I look at Lamar Jackson, and he needs to get the respect of that.
When they fired offensive coordinator Greg Roman, the initial indications from the Ravens were that they were going to continue the same overall offensive philosophy, and they clearly aren't. With Todd Monken in as the offensive coordinator, it's going to be more open. Look at the acquisitions they've made.
Exactly.
Look at where they've spent their money and their draft capital. $15 million fully guaranteed for a 1-year deal with Odell Beckham Jr. First-round pick devoted to receiver Zay Flowers. They brought in Nelson Aguilar. They have 2 pass-catching tight ends. This is the way it's going, and Lamar Jackson will have more control in this new offense, more ability to change the plays. They are trusting him to be the guy that they're paying him to be, and that's where the money takes us. Look at the investment they've made in him, the investment they've made in the receivers. That's where this is going. It's obvious, and it's just a matter of sitting back and watching it play out, but it's going to be a very different offense. And look, I know you're a firm believer in what the Ravens can do this year, but this is a pretty dramatic turn for them.
It is, right.
So, some of those early season games, they have a couple of very winnable games. I think they have the Colts and the Texans in the first few weeks, but they also have some division round games early that they better be ready for, because those games can come back to haunt them later if they aren't buttoned up and if that offense isn't firing on all cylinders right out of the gate.
No, agreed there. But I think it's time. One, like we talked about with Jalen Hurts last week, or yesterday, that was, right? There's not a lot of wiggle room here when you play that running quarterback, we're going to run the ball a lot style of play. And, hey, we saw the first team finally get to the Super Bowl like that, but they couldn't win the football game either. The league's set up to throw the football. We know how quickly a game can change, or you can go down the field by throwing the football, right? And I think the Ravens have realized that, and I think they realized that Lamar's ready to take the next step. That, again, the offense they were at with Greg Roman, no disrespect, he was really good. But it was based around the run game. And then if the run game didn't work, the offense did not have enough to stand alone on itself with just the pass game. When I go back and break this down and break Lamar down, the offense, when it's not running the ball well, is pretty average as far as the pass ideas. Now they're going to play through the pass, and they're going to open it up there. And I think Lamar is going to open up a lot of people's eyes and what he can do, throwing the football, decisions. Man, does he make a lot of tight window throws. He's fearless with his control of the football. He's accurate. He throws great spirals, and we know he can play backyard football with the best of them. I'm excited to see what Lamar can do in this new offense that's framed more around the passing game, and then they'll lean to the run game as the afterthought. instead of the vice versa, which we saw the last few years.
What a turn this has taken, though, where we go from a spot where the vibe was that the Ravens are exasperated with Lamar Jackson, and there's all this talk about the late season injuries and how reliable is he, and should they ponder a future without him, and if he's just not going to accept our offer at some point, we have to move on. Now it's all in with the money, with the offense. They're going to embrace him, and they're going to use him in a way that they really didn't his first 5 years in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's a stunning shift.
It is.
In approach and attitude toward a player from a team.
Yeah. It is, it's I think them that's where I give Harbaugh and the Ravens a lot of credit, realizing, hey, our team's built around the run and all this, but hey, there's something else we need here, and we're not taking advantage of all the skills that our best player has to offer in Lamar Jackson. I think they realize that. So that's why they got Todd Monken in there, and I think it's going to, open up the offense a little bit and show Lamar and his ability to spread the field with his right arm. He wants to play in the pocket. He's a good decision maker in the pocket. He moves well in the pocket. He finds lanes to throw to. I mean, he throws with power. He does it all. So Lamar's only issue at times can be trying to make too much happen, right? If I was going to say one negative, that would be it, right? Like think about the Giants game, scrambling around everywhere and then throws a ball as he's 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, or scrambling around everywhere and then trying to make 7 people miss and he fumbles the ball, right? It's that at times is probably the biggest kryptonite for Lamar. But other than that, man, he's a hell of a football player and definitely a top 5 quarterback for me.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a time when it was all uncertain with Lamar Jackson that I would rattle off the true franchise quarterbacks right now: Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, not necessarily in that order, and Lamar was on the outside looking in. That was when we weren't quite sure what the Ravens thought of him, what they were going to do this year. Now that he's kind of gotten that reaffirmation, they've renewed their vows, he's back in the trust tree, everything's fine now, it does kind of elevate his standing, and it does put him higher than maybe others. You have him higher than Trevor Lawrence and Jalen Hurts. So he's in the top 5. Now he's got to prove it this year in this new offense. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.